You are on the right channel. This is Frugal Outdoors and I am Dylan. I'm not Greg and this isn't GSP fishing, but massive shout out to Greg for sending me a t-shirt, because I kind of accidentally won one really. I always comment on his videos because I really enjoyed them, and I was watching his videos before I started doing videos, so I'm knackered. I've already been down to the beach. Let's do some footage on the way down. It's comp night tonight. Hopefully we'll get a couple of fish. As soon as we get down there, I'll bring you back. And there we have it. I have my spot. So I was picked out pretty much in the middle. I've gone left. We had basically the option of, you know, a few hundred yards to the left of the chine, a few hundred yards to the right of the chine. I've gone left. This is pretty much where I fished last time and got into some hounds. Target is a hound, but I don't know how many people have been catching them out the back. I certainly haven't, and I don't know of any that have. So target is the hound for the extra 5 points. I'm going to be fishing for a hound on one rod all night. And I'm going to be fishing for probably a ray or mixed species on the other rod and just alternate it up. I've got tons of bait. I've got rag, I've got squid, I've got some anchovies, I've got some sand eels, I've got some spiders, and I've got some shore crabs, and prawns. Did I say prawns? So yeah, so shellfish on one side, rag and bits and bobs on the other side. As it gets dark, I'll just fully target the rays on the other rod and just see how we get on. But it's been a glorious day. It's 22 degrees today. It's absolutely stunning. It's the first time I haven't had to bring down my thermals. I'm going to start the evening in a t-shirt with some, look at these sweaty patches. But anyway, I'm going to get set up and see how we get on. Right, we're ready. I've got half an hour to go. I've baited up already. I should have waited, to be honest. So these ones are just going to be chucked out, and then I'll make sure I've got some nice fresh stuff to go in a minute, but I'll quickly show you anyway. I'm buzzing. I haven't been fishing for like 2 weeks, so I'm super pumped. Right, let's have a look. Right, so got both the competition match rods today, the ST and the GT. So the GT, I'm fishing for hounds all night. The ST, anything. It'd be nice to get a hound on that though, because it's super whippy, so it'd be quite fun, I think. I got them paired up with my Shimano Speedmasters 14,000s, and today I've got my 16-pound with a tapered leader, which I believe is a 15 to 60. So hopefully if I get any problems and I snag up, then I've got my spare spools for 25 pounds straight through, and I'll just switch straight onto that. I'm not retying any leaders tonight. So on the bigger rod, I've got a pulley, relatively short pulley, probably about 80 centimeters. On there I've got one peeler crab, shore crab. That's got a 4.0, quite proud, maybe a bit too proud, I don't know if too proud is a thing. And then another 4.0 out at the top there. That's on a 5 ounce. This side, now this, when we did this comp last year, I cast this rig out for a wrasse and I caught a smoothhound on it straight away. I'm not thinking it's gonna, same thing's gonna happen, but I am gonna try it anyway. So this is a Portsmouth loop rig. I'll show you a loop rig in a minute because I've been asked to show one in more detail. Portsmouth loop rig, size 1 hooks, quite small. These are the Kamzan match hooks. That's on a 5 ounce. Tipped off with a bit of prawn. Yeah, and then hopefully, like I say, these are not, it's just a standard sort of size really, this one. With a spring at the top, I'll show you that in a second. But these are my first 2 rigs that are going to go out. Right, sat twiddling my thumbs now, waiting. Just bumped into a chap called Simon. He's just walking back up the beach now. He's staying at Brighstone. Grange Farm it is, for anyone that's interested. If you're coming over onto the island and you're looking for somewhere to stay, caravan, tents, all that sort of stuff, Grange Farm, fantastic place. You're right on the beach. And well, yeah, you've got all of this right ahead of you, but he's staying here anyway, and he's a subscriber. So if I catch a bass tonight, Simon, it's dedicated to you, buddy, because he said really wants a bass and hasn't had one. So I really want a bass, and I haven't had many, to be fair. I've had a few, but there's definitely a potential of one down here. Like I say, we are targeting hounds, so I'm going to be having a go for a hound, having a go for a ray, but certainly, being as I've got crab, there's no harm in chucking one in a bit closer on a running ledger a bit later on if I'm struggling, and see if I can't winkle a bass out. So probably got about 15 minutes to go. I've eaten my sandwich, so I've eaten all my food. We're fishing 4 hours up and 2 hours down today. High tide is about 11. We're finishing at 1. It's a late one. So like I say, hopefully we can winkle out a fish. Hopefully everybody can winkle out a fish, and maybe I can just winkle out one more. So see how we get on. Right, hello. Oop, there we go. Right, let's. I'm going to show you my loop rig that I'm using. This one I'll be using a little bit later. So basically, I'm using some small hooks. So I'm going to use that pulley and a loop rig with size 1s up until dark. As soon as it gets to dark, because obviously then the wrasse are going to go away. I'd like to try and weigh in a wrasse if I can. Then I'm going to be bumping straight over onto this rig, which is a Portsmouth loop rig again, but it's much heavier and much bigger. So I've got an 80-pound rig body there, which is probably about 1 metre, as you can see there, all the way down. So it's got an imp at the bottom and a swivel at the top, hooked up onto my charger lead. My bottom snood is again probably about 80 centimetres. That again is 80 pound, but it's just a different, the rig body is a bit of a tougher, cheaper line. This one is much more memory free, stuff like that. So that's 80 pound as well. And that's got a 3.0 Kamzan and a 3.0 Octopus beak hook pennelled up with the bit of elastic for the to get some tension on it. Then it's got the cascade swivel. So the cascade swivel, once this one goes on the imp, the other snood, sorry, goes onto that cascade swivel. I will rig it up in a minute and show you if I can without a lead. My top hook, which is right at the top there, and that's where the spring is. So really quite at the top. And again, that's probably about 80 centimetres. That's got a size 2 Kamzan. The 940, 942, I can't remember. So when that's all rigged up, as soon as it hits the water, I've got 2 quite long-ish snoods with decent size hooks, which will have decent size baits. So I'm hoping these are going to be my ray baits tonight. I'll hook it up and show you. That's the 3.0 going into the imp. So that's in there. So that's my pennel. There's my swivel. Now normally I have the cascade swivel a lot closer to the hook, but today, because I don't want these snoods to tangle, so they're far enough apart that they won't tangle, but in order to do that I have to shorten this, and if I want to shorten this top snood I have to put that swivel further away. There we go. Right, so there we go. So they're probably still about 8 inches apart, 8 to 10 inches apart, but they're still kind of behind the lead, so when when it is flying through the air, I will be able to get that bit of distance. And because of that spring, which is fully down, as soon as that hits, boom, they spring apart. Hopefully I've got two nice baits in the water for a fishy, but we'll see how we get on anyway. I've got ages, man. I'm super ready. Oh well, it's nice down here anyway to sit in a t-shirt. It'd be nice in a few months, well, a few weeks hopefully, I can sit in shorts, but not today. See, as you can see, the tide's moved right up now. So all of those rocks that were down there before, that slabby sort of reef, it's basically like a set clay, is totally under the water now. I'm hoping I can punch it past that onto the sandy bit, or even onto that. Yeah, like saying, pick something up. Don't really care what it is. I'm second still in the league. I'd like to at least stay top 3, but we'll see how we get on. I've got to weigh a fish. I don't care what fish, but I've got to weigh one. There we go. It is, why is it saying 8? It's actually 7 o'clock. Every time we're down here, for some reason, you get no signal and then it messes with your clock. It's 7 o'clock, it's time to start. Pretty sure I'm getting a bite on the left-hand rod. It's a strap, but it's a fish on the first cast, and I'm on the board. Yeah, wicked, man. I've zoomed in because of the rods, and I keep walking super close. So sorry, I'll bring it back in a minute. I was wanting to get it close because, you know, well, as you all know, I like to show the bites when they come in. So as I'm getting it, you're getting it as well, especially because we're hound fishing, you know. It'd be super cool just watch one of those scream off. But that little strap has made a right old mess of this rig, so I'm just going to quickly sort it out. I've cast exactly the same bait, little size one, ragworm, tipped with a little section of prawn. Hopefully we can get something a bit better. Well, we're getting up to sort of 8:30 now. So we've been fishing for an hour and a half. And that left-hand one, the one that I'm fishing really light with the rag tipped off. Basically, I'm tipping one off now with a crab leg and one off with a prawn section. But I've just dropped it right on all that rock and reef that was out there. Now that it's all covered up, I've just dropped it right in there. It's a risk because I could get snagged up, but we'll see how it goes. I've just pulled another rig in and I've lost a hook, so there's definitely some crab activity out there. But it's been pretty quiet up and down the beach, to be honest. But hopefully, like I say, I mean, that sun's probably got about another 40 minutes, I think. And then it's going to start to get dark. And then hopefully, fish will come out and play. Right, quickly show you this next bait. So, there we go. So that is basically the sections of prawns. Basically, I'm taking 2 sections of prawn off the tail to tip off. Then I'm using the rest of it, including the head, as a bigger bait for the hounds. And this time, I've wrapped a little bit of squid up the side of it. So it's quite a It's quite a neat bait. Like I say, that's got a 3.0 Aberdeen hook and a 3.0 octopus beak hook in the top. So it's not a huge bait, but it'll give me a little bit of streamline, you know, for a bit of distance. So that's my plan anyway, but we'll see. I haven't had one yet, so it's not working, is it? Yeah, nearly time to change my tactics, I think. I want to try and get through that rag, but don't think I'm going to. I may well use some again later, but we'll just come into that sort of dusk time, and, which I always think feels really fishy, but it never really turns out to be. But I always think in my head that it's going to be a really good time to catch a fish. So we're about 2.5 hours before high tide, 2 hours, something like that. So I'm going to start punching out some fish baits, I think. I'm going to have a little sit down, have a little think about it. I've got 2 rigs ready to go out. But I think the ones that come back in, I'm going to switch them up and start putting some ray rigs out. 1 ray rig, 1 hound rig. Ah, gutted. Lost the leader. So I've switched straight onto my 25 pound. Straight through. I'm not tying a leader. I'm not going to risk losing another one. So yeah, so I've just put the 25 pound straight on. I whacked it straight out. We are fishing again. But yeah, gutted. Right, here we go. This is my next bait. Next rig that's going out really. So it's that long pulley, that long loop rig. So on the top hook I've got half a quite a large sand eel, almost a launch really. That's on a size 2.0 rather. Then on my next, on the bottom snood of it, which is tangled up in my wires. There we go. Then we've got that's a anchovy and squid wrapped together, and that's on the pennel. So I'm going to fire that out in a little bit. Hopefully see if I can't pull out even another conger, dogfish, anything really, anything that will take a fish bait. Preferably a ray, but hey ho, I'll take anything at the minute. Coming in over. Ooh, just had a nice bite on my right hand rod then. I was on the phone to Ross, who's fishing further down. I'm going to leave that a bit because I've got on the top hook, it's the loop rig, it's rag. I've got no stop, so it could have come all the way up the line in the cast. I don't think it did, but it's stopped going now, so I'm going to bring the other one in, change the other one, fire out some fish bait, and yeah, just see if something hooks itself. Yeah, damn it, whatever it was, I think it's gone. So I think it's probably having to go at the rag that's gone up the line possibly, so it's not hooking itself. I did try and bind a little bit of elastic around the top to try and stop it from moving, but I don't think I did a very good job. Ah, oh, there we are. That's what I thought I was getting a decent bite, and it was this little guy, and he's only 21 centimetres, so he's not big enough to weigh in. So I'm going to chuck him back out. In fact, I think he might have been on there a little bit too long, so I might actually keep him at bay. Yeah, unlucky. Oh dear, it's super quiet. We're over halfway through now, so it's not quite high tide, but the tide is pushing right up to the top. And yeah, I just had that strap and a pout. Unfortunately the pout was too small to weigh in, but I've kept it. I will use it for bait. I'll stick it on a 4.0 pulley pennel, one side, and I'll probably throw it in a bit closer, chuck it on the actual slab, But yeah, considering the target is hounds, no one's had a hound, but no one's having anything, which is a real shame. It's northeasterly slightly. Apparently Solent is weeded out, but yeah, the last time we were down here for rays, we had loads of hounds, and it was only like in about 2 weeks time, last year that was. But we keep plugging away. I'm still persisting with hound rod and a ray rod essentially. But yeah, it's not looking good at the moment. But like I say, we've still got another 2.5 hours yet, so fingers crossed, as always. Just saying that, I'm getting a bite on my right hand rod. Ooh, just had another knock on that right hand rod, but I've got a feeling there's probably a few people are catching power, weighing them in, they're big enough to weigh. Unfortunately my last one wasn't, so there we go. There we go, little strap. Let's get him weighed in, get it back in. Ah, there we go, absolutely slimed. My rag is covered, 15 ounces that time, but I'll take it. Ah, there we go. So I've got some fresh baits out there. Monster huge crab bait. And fish bait. So yeah, we'll just see how we get on. But 2 fish now, weighed in. No idea where we're coming, but to be honest, I just wanted to catch a fish, try and keep my second place. It'd be lovely to get a ray, because that will push me right up there and it'll give me the extra points for the for a fish over £3. But it's not looking very likely at the moment, I don't think. Yeah, so these are the sand eels I've got. Like I say, they're pretty decent size. I'm going to put one out on its own. I've only been putting literally half of one on the 2.0, but this one I'm going to put on a pennel because they're pretty decent size. I never fish them whole really. Well, I do the smaller ones, but the smaller ones are a lot smaller than this. So chuck this on, see if we can't get something different. I think I just caught a bite out the corner of my eye. The left-hand rod this time. It must be pushing right near the top of the tide now. Try and just bag up on small stuff like that's in size. If I can get another couple of straps, then it'll put me up there, I think. When the fishing's as hard as it is. I mean, to be honest, I've weighed in all the comps, but they've all been really hard work. They've all been slow. I think I've just been pretty lucky, really, to be able to catch a fish in the comps. I did just want to quickly say as well, if you do decide to come down here, then please do be careful. If you come down on a really big tide, you will get cut off. It's the same as brook, you can get so easily cut off, especially if you go left or right of where the chine actually comes down. The chine is basically like the valley where the stream comes down. It's quite open there and you can move right back. But when we fish our comps down here, we always choose like a smaller tide. It's not a small tide, it's one of the bigger tides, but just not super big, if that makes sense. Because you will get cut off, so just be aware of that. There we go. Woo! But this one is in size, so I can weigh this one in. Yeah, easy. There we go. 7 ounces. I've chucked that one back because he was pretty live and kicking, so. Right, let's get another bait out. I'm catching fish. They're not the monsters. They're not the big ones that we wanted. They're not rays, and they're not smoothhound. But I'm not blanking, and I'm on the board, so. Ooh, I'll be honest though, I did not think that was a pout. When I slacked line, my heart popped out of my chest. And I thought I was into something decent. I thought it was a ray because it's my fish bait. We'll take it. It's another 7 ounces. Oh, that wind's got up and the temperature has dropped. It's pretty cold. This ain't cold. In all fairness, compared to what it was a couple of months ago, it's very mild. Tide's turned now and there's definitely a couple of fish coming out now. Some dogfish. It's all small stuff though. It's all dogfish, congers and pout. But I think I might be getting a bite on my left hand rod. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, people are starting to catch fish now. Like I say, we've only got about an hour and a half left, so with any luck we can all catch a few more. Ooh, well, we're into our last half hour now and I'm pretty pleased about it, if I'm honest. I'm cold. It's nearly 1 o'clock in the morning, but no, it's been alright. Like, so I think, pretty sure nearly everybody's caught, which is always good. There's been a bass, there's been plenty of straps, plenty of pout, a couple of dogfish. But yeah, it's been alright. Somewhere in the middle, I guess. I don't know. I should still keep hold of second place, but I don't think I'll be taking first, and hopefully I won't be going down. So, but like I say, half hour. I've got 2 rigs baited up, ready to go. I'm going to start packing stuff up, throw my leftover bait in the water. Hopefully pull something out in the last 5 minutes. Never know. I've got a bit of a knack at doing that, but we'll see how it goes. Well, there we go, last chuck. Just snapped a hook. But yeah, last chuck now, so I'm going to start, like I say, packing a few bits away. Hopefully we can get fish in the last cast. But I don't mind, it's alright, it's been alright. But like I say, the wind's definitely got up. And that temperature's dropped. So I'm looking forward to getting home and having a swift beer. Swift beer, maybe a cheese toasty, maybe followed by maybe a glass of wine. Right, there we go. Rods are out. No idea where I came, but it's probably somewhere around the middle, I think. Like I say, there's been some fish come out, some bass, some congers, some pout, some dogfish, and we'll find out when I get back. We won't know if I've won until maybe tomorrow or Monday, but not if I won, but where I came. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Like I say, no big ones today, I'm afraid, but there's always next time. Next comp we've got is a daytime one as well, which would be cool. So, till the next time, take care, stay safe. Hope to see you out there. Cheers.